Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the DuPont Professional Baseball League. Today, we are giving you live reports on the game between the Yokohama DeNA BayStars and the Orix Buffaloes. It is a battle of two teams who are in the top half of their respective leagues. The Buffaloes enter tonight's fray with 58 games played. They are 31-24 with 3 draws or ties. And they have themselves a .564 winning percentage, 2.5 games behind the Hanshin Tigers in the Central League. On the flip side of the coin, the Orix Buffaloes find themselves in third place, 3.5 games behind the Hokkaido DuPont Ham Fighters. And they are effectively tied, but only percentage points ahead of the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Through 57 games, they are 28, 26, and 3 with a .519 winning percentage. Well, in the Interleague play, there are a pile of teams that are sitting atop the Interleague standings, and one of them are the BayStars, as well as the Fukuoka Ball Club, Hiroshima, the Hanshin Tigers, and the Chinichi Dragons. Buffaloes, on the other hand, they are third from the bottom as they are 3-5, but it is pretty packed, and it could be anywhere and anyone at any time to be able to get through. Well, the BayStars last night, coming off a ball game against the Buffaloes where they won 4-0. Andre Jackson, who has been pitching outstanding for the BayStars, picked up his 6th win of the year. He has himself a 1.40 ERA. Daiki Tajima took the loss in that one. He's now 3-3, 4-0. The BayStars were the victors. And so that is where we stand as we head into tonight's affair. This is a Thursday game in Japan, so it is the third game of the set between these clubs before they move on elsewhere into the interleague play. The first game of the series, the Buffaloes won behind, I guess, Aaron Curry, as they called him, and now it's all of a sudden it's Alan Curry, as he got the win in the first game of the series. It was Katsuki Azuma who took the loss. It was a 2-0 Buffalo win. So this is the rubber game in the series. 2-0 win for the Buffaloes, 4-0 win for the BayStars. And that is where we stand going into this one. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to be a full house tonight for this one. Sporadic crowd, not quite the most well-attended crowd, as the upper deck in the stadium at the Kyocera Dome is got a lot of empty seats. But well, first of all, I'll give you the lineups for the visitors from Yokohama. As leading off and playing in center field is going to be number 1, Masayuki Kuwahara. Hitting second and right field is number 4, Ryuki Watari. Hitting third and playing first base is number 7, Kaida Sano. And the cleanup spot at second base is number 2, Shugo Maki. Batting in the 5th spot and in left field is number 25, Yoshi Setsugo. Hitting 6th and doing designated hitting is number 51, Toshiro Miyazaki. Hitting 7th and doing the catching is number 5, Shion Matsuo. Hitting 8th at third base is number 26, Masaki Momori. And batting 9th at shortstop is number 44, Taiki Ishigami. And they are going to be facing Anderson Espinoza, who takes to the hill tonight with a 1-3 record. He's worked 48 innings. He's allowed 48 hits, 18 runs, 15 of which have been earned. He has walked 18 and struck out 43, pitching to a 2.81 earned run average. Now the starting lineup for the home team for the Orix Buffaloes. Leading off and playing third base tonight is number 30, Taishi Haruka. Batting second at shortstop is number 24, Kataro Kobayashi. Hitting third and doing the designated hitting is number 54, Jordan Diaz. In the cleanup spot and in right field is number 99, Yataro Sugimoto. Hitting 5th at first base is number 44, Yuma Tongu. In the 6th spot and in left field is number 38, Ryoto Kita. Hitting 7th in center field is number 67, Kai Nakagawa. The 8th spot doing the catching is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. And batting 9th and playing second base is number 10, Koji Oshiro. And it is going to be Trevor Bauer who takes to the hill. Bauer with a 4-3 record, 80 innings pitched this year with 69 hits allowed, 27 runs all earned, 22 walks, 70 strikeouts, and a 3.04 ERA. Well, those are your starting lineups. We're going to be back in just a couple of moments. The first pitch is about 3 minutes away. It is the BayStars and the Buffaloes when we return after this. The Buffaloes are just getting themselves onto the field here, and we are going to be just a couple moments away from first pitch, as it is the BayStars and the Buffaloes, Game 3 of the series, the Kyocera Dome in Osaka, Japan. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred with Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. Anderson Espinoza is just getting onto the mound here to start his warm-up tosses before we get this one underway. It looks like it's going to go off at about probably 2:02 or 2:03 local time. Or I shouldn't say that. I should say 6:02 or 6:03 local time. 2:02 if you're on the Pacific coast of the United States and Canada. If you're on the East Coast, it'll be just after 5 a.m. Anderson Espinoza, who is getting the start here, 1-3 on the season. He's pitched particularly well with a 2.81 ERA. He has been able to keep his walks in check this year, and his strikeouts ratio is almost at 1 per inning. He's got 43 in 48 innings. He is going to be facing Kuwahara, Wataru, and Sano to get things going here in the top of inning number 1. And he has been, as we said, decent in his last few outings here, getting a win more recently, and he hasn't had one it was almost in a full year's time for Espinoza. So here we go. As he's completed his warm-up tosses, we're ready to get this one underway. Trevor Bauer is on the mound for the BayStars here tonight, and so we are looking forward to that as well. A little disappointed as the crowd at the Kyocera Dome is a little bit sparse for this one. So here we go. Espinoza, he's on the rubber. Gets his signs from Kenya Wakatsuki, and we are ready to get this one underway. As the right-hander gets his sign, and he rocks into the windup and delivers. The first pitch of the ball game is a fastball down for ball 1. The count is 1-0. For Kuwahara, he is hitting .269 on the season. The 31-year-old, no homers and 5 runs driven in. Batting from the right side here against the right-hander Espinoza. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Buffaloes are in their home white uniform. Interestingly, the BayStars are wearing white pants with this gray-blue top, as there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Kind of like this jersey as opposed to the home jersey that they were featuring. The home jersey was more blue in it. It was hard to see the number as the blue was on blue, much like the Hiroshima Carp Road jersey where it's red on red. As there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 3-1 on Kuwahara. Espinoza wasting no time, rocks into delivery, and he delivers a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed. And now the count runs full to Kuwahara. Not so sure if that was as much a sinker as it was a split finger pitch. It looked like he was still on the seams, was Anderson. I'll have to keep an eye on that one and how he grips that particular pitch, but it certainly went down like a splitter. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to third, fielded neatly by the third baseman Haruka, who fires to first, and Kuwahara is in the books. It's a ground out 5-3. So 1 up and 1 away here for the BayStars, and it'll bring up the right fielder in Orix Wataru. Well, for Wataru, he's hitting .256 on the season. He's got 4 homers and 17 runs batted in. Bats from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Espinoza. Has a very distinctive setup when he comes to hit. You certainly think of some hitters, as the first pitch is a fastball that bounces up to the plate. Count is 1-0. I think of Ichiro when he used to reach his sleeve or touch his sleeve. I think of certain hitters as they have their rituals before they come to bat. Wataru, he will put his right arm extended with the bat, lift his sleeve as he takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Almost an iconic type of look, and he's only in his second year. So here comes the 1-1 offering from the right-hander Espinoza, who rocks and delivers. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. And I say into the seats there because there's a lot of empty ones in the lower bowl. As we mentioned before, very disappointing in the interleague play that the Buffaloes not getting the attendance for this one. Not exactly the most supported team in the NPB. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on line right back to the glove of the pitcher. Oh, Espinoza was kind of falling backwards to avoid it. He stuck the glove up and he made the grab. Wataru is retired. A line drive to the pitcher for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to the first baseman, Kaida Sano. Well, for Sano, he's hitting .277 on the year. He's got 5 homers and 29 runs batted in. As Espinoza ready to get going here, as he kicks and fires, and the first pitch is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Sano batting from the left side. He's going to get a chance, it looks like, to be almost the everyday first baseman as that pitch misses down. Word was Tyler Austin's knee was bothering him. He was doing some rehab down on the farm, and it looks like he's still going to be out for a while. You may want to take a look or at least get an image to see what's going on there. As Sano swings through a fastball and the count goes to 1-2. Sano hitting .277 with 5 homers and 29 RBIs. When Austin has been in the lineup, he's been playing a lot of left field. As he waggles the bat, waiting here on the offering from the right-hander. As Espinoza rocks and delivers. The pitch on the way, fastball misses down and away, and the count goes even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Little programming note, not exactly sure when we're going to get our next NPB game in. It'll be next week, more than likely. The question is when and where. Fastball swung on. This is lifted into left field. Moving over underneath it with room to make the catch is Ryoto Kita, and that is going to do it. Sano's gone for the third out of the inning, and the BayStars are gone in their half of the first. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through a half inning. It is the BayStars nothing, and the Buffaloes coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. Trevor Bauer taking to the hill when we return after this. Welcome back, everybody. Trevor Bauer has just completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to get this one back underway. It'll be Taishi Haruka, Kotaro Kobayashi, and Jordan Diaz to face the American right-hander. Bauer coming off 2 pretty good starts last week in interleague play, as he is getting the Thursday start here. His last start was Friday last week, as the first pitch is a breaking ball swung on and missed by Haruka. Count is quickly 0-1. Haruka hitting .306 with 4 homers and 12 runs driven in. As Bauer gets his sign from his catcher, and he rocks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. Defensively tonight for the BayStars, from left to right field, Satsugo is in left. The center fielder is Kuwahara, and it is Wataru who is in right. As Bauer kicks and fires, there's a breaking ball missing down and away, and the count now goes to 2-1. Around the horn from first to third, it is Sano at first, Maki at second. The shortstop tonight is Ishigami with Mamori at third. On the battery of Bauer and Matsuda, there's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count runs even to 2-2 on Haruka. The thing that I would have to say about Bauer is just the way that he has been mixing up the timing of his pitches. Sometimes he has a large leg kick. Sometimes he almost has a slide step out of the windup. As there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count runs full to Haruka. Sometimes he also has a bit of a hesitation from the windup. And throw that in with the assortment of pitches that he does throw. It's a very tough night for the opponents. Fastball swung on. This is lifted into straightaway center field. Camping out underneath it is Kuwahara. He's got room to make the catch, and that is going to retire Haruka for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 gone. It'll bring up the shortstop in Kotaro Kobayashi. Well, for Kobayashi, he's hitting a .270 on the year. He's got 4 homers and 21 RBIs as he steps up to the plate. The first pitch from Bauer is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Kobayashi batting from the right side, waggling the bat. As the right-hander Bauer delivers, there's a fastball that comes inside, and he has nailed the batter on the forearm, and down goes Kobayashi like he's been shot. As he is on all fours, they're going to have to come out and have a look at him. Very interesting to see where he actually got hit. Looks like it is on his throwing arm between the wrist and the elbow. He couldn't hold up the pitch. That was a 2-seam fastball that ran inside. Boy, I didn't think it really caught him flush enough, but the way that Kobayashi's gone down, it may be more serious than what it is. So he is still writhing in pain on the ground as the trainer has come out to take a look at him. They're pointing, of course, where it is. It's, as we said, on the forearm. As he's going to get to his feet, I wonder if they're going to go and take him down the tunnel as they like to do in Japan before they release him back into the wild, so to speak. As he gets up and he's slowly, gingerly walking off. I'm sure there's going to be some swelling there in the forearm. I have to take another look at that one again. As we mentioned, it was a 2-seam fastball that rode in on him, and he just couldn't hold up his swing, and it ended up that he caught him on that forearm. It's the throwing arm side one as well. We'll get another look at the replay. That ball had a lot of movement to it, but as I said, it didn't look like it got him flush. In fact, it looked like it may have got him a little bit and deflected almost off his right hip. So he's down the tunnel. They're going to have a look at him, and we'll have a little pause here. It is going to be Jordan Diaz who is slated to come to bat. Kind of makes you wonder a little bit. I also kind of noted, too, that there is, I don't know if that's Rio Adachi, the former Buffalo, is the first base coach these days, as Bauer is taking a few tune-up tosses here while we wait for the resumption of play. Jordan Diaz, who will be coming to the plate, hitting .259 on the year, no homers and a couple RBIs. Getting an opportunity here to play tonight. We'll look again at that replay as we're waiting for the resumption of this one. Fastball just rode inside. But again, just kind of where it got him. Normally, the players will wear a lot of body armor on their lead arm, not much on the trail side. sometimes depending upon where you catch it, there is the look of concerned faces on the Buffalo fans as their star shortstop would definitely be missed if he had to leave this game tonight. And if he had to miss any time, it would be definitely a blow to the Buffaloes. So as we continue to wait here for the resumption, we can tell you that there is a full slate of games around the NPB tonight. And currently there is scoring in one other game, and that would be that the Henshin Tigers struck first blood against the Saitama Cebu Lions. They have a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning. All the other games at this point, actually the Swallows have just got on the board in the top of the first inning against the Fighters at Escon Field. So a couple of score lines, and now the Marines have a 1-0 lead over the Carp in the top of the second. So some ball games with some scores. Looking at the options of other potential players that could come into the ball game, you kind of hate to wait and see what the status on Kobayashi would be. As we take a look at some of the options who would be on the bench or how they would possibly look to maybe move somebody around. They do have Noguchi, who was on the bench. We've seen him play shortstop. As the umpire has come over to the Buffalo's bench to try to find out the status here, if he's going to be able to continue or not. But I would think that it would be Noguchi who would be the option to come into the ballgame here if Kobayashi was unable to continue. But Kobayashi has emerged from the dugout, and after that pause in the action and delay, he is ready to take his spot over at first base to run, and the Buffalo's fans give him a round of applause for his return to the field. So Kotaro Kobayashi, the runner at first, brings Diaz to the plate. The Colombian, who is in his first season with the Buffaloes, the former Oakland Athletic, gets himself settled in. Batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Bauer, who works to the set. And now the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike it is. Waggling the bat is Diaz, 24 years old. As we mentioned, hitting .259, 14 for 54 on the season. As the right-hander Bauer holds set again, kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on and fouled away into the feet of Diaz, and now Bauer's way up at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. As we mentioned, we will try to do as many possible games that will feature Bauer through the year. Just hope we can be able to keep our eyes open for this one here tonight, as it is a 6 o'clock start in Japan. As the 0-2 pitch ready to come here from the American right-hander. He delivers, breaking ball down. Good stop there by the catcher Mitsuo. Runs the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes, says Diaz here, ready to go. Back in again. He taps both sides of the plate. He's got a very similar routine. Slightly open stance. He stands at the back of the box. Here comes the 1-2 from Bauer. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into straightaway center field. And underneath it again, there is Kuwahara, and he's there to make the catch. So both of the outs recorded so far in the inning have been to the center fielder. 2 gone here, and it leaves it up to the right fielder in Yataro Sugimoto. Well, for Sugimoto, he's enjoying himself a nice campaign this year. He's hitting .298, 7 homers and 22 RBIs. The last time the Buffaloes got to the Japan series, Sugimoto and Masataka Yoshida really fed off one another. As he bats here from the right side. That was in the first time that they made the trip to the Japan series. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Sugimoto. 168 at-bats already on the season here. The one thing that was noticeable about Sugimoto is he really trimmed down in the offseason. Got himself, it looked like, in much better shape as the 1-0 is on the way, and he swings through a split finger pitch, and the count goes to 1-1. He's moving a lot better. He's a bit more agile, but certainly not carrying as much weight as he was 12 months ago. So 1-1 strike to the Buffaloes' right fielder. Bauer gets his sign, and he's ready to go again. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that is lifted into deep right field, moving back onto the warning track, up against the wall, and leaping it. Is not going to be able to come down with it is the right fielder Wataru. Rounding third and heading home is going to be the runner Kobayashi, and sliding into third with a triple is going to be Yataro Sugimoto, and he's got himself an RBI here, and the Buffaloes have opened up the scoring 1-0 here over the BayStars. Sugimoto, good piece of hitting, able to stay inside the ball and drive it the other way, and it just kept carrying and carrying and carrying. Wataru had raced back to the wall. He had to leap. It was probably a good solid 10 feet up the wall. He wasn't able to come down with it. And Shugo Maki had cut it off, and then they had fired it into third, but unable to get the runner Sugimoto, who had legged out a triple. Well, that brings up to the plate Yuma Tongu, and he takes a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Tongu hitting .276 on the season with 7 homers and 21 runs driven in. Both Tongu and Sugimoto, if they can feed off one another, it'll be a very dangerous portion of the Buffalo lineup. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count's even at 1-1. So 1-1 strike. Buffaloes and BayStars going at it here in the rubber game in Osaka. Each team has won one game, and both times they have shut their opponents out. As the pitch on the way from Bauer is a fastball swung on, and it's tapped foul just past the third base bag, and the count is 1-2. So 1-2 strikes. And Tongu's career against Bauer, he's got a 1 hit in 3 trips against him, and it's been a home run. As the Buffalo captain waits here on the offering from the right-hander Bauer. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded through the 6-hole into left field. Tongu's got himself a base hit. He's got an RBI, and the Buffaloes have taken a 2-0 lead here over the BayStars. And that is going to bring up the left fielder in Ryota Kita. Well, for Kita, enters the game tonight hitting .294. He's got no homers and no RBIs. So a 2-0 Buffalo lead here in the bottom of the first inning. That's exactly what the BayStars had drawn up. I will say this, in the last couple outings that we've watched Bauer pitch, certainly the first inning can be a bit of a nemesis for him. Once he gets through that, he can settle down and get on a roll. There's a breaking ball that's delivered for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Kita. Kita, the 22-year-old left fielder, getting the nod to start here again today. Batting from the left side against the American right-hander. Here comes the pitch. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on and missed. That was at 94 on the gun. The count now goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes here as the right-hander shakes off his catcher. Now he gets the sign that he likes. Looks like they're setting up inside here. Here comes the 0-2 offering. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. So no balls and 2 strikes to Kita as the left-handed hitting left fielder digs himself back in here against Bauer. Here comes the 0-2. As the right-hander kicks and fires, it is a split-finger pitch. It's swung on and missed. It's in the dirt. Picks it up, fires to first, and that's going to be a strikeout, 2-3 on the putout. And that is going to do it. Kita is gone for the third out of the inning. Well, there were 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors and there was a runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the top of the second inning, it is the Buffaloes 2 and the BayStars no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a few right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We do have a change, and it is going to be Noguchi who is coming in to play shortstop in replace of Kirby-Ashi. So it is going to be Tomoya Noguchi over in the shortstop position, taking over for the Buffaloes starting shortstop, as the first pitch on the way is a fastball that misses down and in to Shugo Maki, and the count is 1-0. Maki, Satsugo, and Miyazaki to come to bat here for the BayStars in their half of inning number 2. As the right-hander Espinoza delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As Espinoza rocks himself into the windup and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on at his tap foul over on the third base side. The count goes to 1-2. As the right-hander gets himself a new baseball and ready to go back at it again, pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on and hammered foul into the netting just past that temporary seating down the left field line. Count remains at 1-2 to Maki. Maki hitting .285 on the season, 11 homers and 37 runs batted in. He is definitely a professional hitter here for the BayStars, as the right-hander Espinoza ready to go, but now time has been called. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball taken on for the called third strike. Oh, Maki stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 1, and that's going to bring up the left fielder in Yoshi Satsugo. So 1 gone here for the BayStars, and Satsugo striding to the plate. Batting .177 on the season, 3 homers and 6 RBIs. Watch the game the other night that Satsugo played in on Friday. He hit a ball to straightaway center field right off the batter's eye in Yokohama. As the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. It counts 0-1. That was against the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. Absolutely obliterated the pitch. Here comes the 0-1 as Espinoza kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It's grounded over to first. Fielded neatly by the first baseman Tagu. He's going to take it himself. It's a ground out to 3 for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up the designated hitter in Toshiro Miyazaki. So Miyazaki comes to the plate, hitting .290 with a homer and 17 RBIs. Batting from the right side here. As the right-hander delivers a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. 5 in a row set down here by Espinoza to begin the ball game. as he has come out on fire for the Buffaloes. Right-hander rocking into the windup and delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is looped into shallow right center field. Moving back on it and making the catch is the second baseman Oshiro, and that is going to do it as Miyazaki's gone here. And so are the BayStars in order in inning number 2. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now through 1.5. It is the BayStars trailing the Buffaloes 2-0. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom third of the batting order for the Buffaloes to come to bat to face Trevor Bauer. And the first pitch breaking ball misses outside, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Kai Nakagawa. Nakagawa, Wakatsuki, and Oshiro to face the American right-hander here in inning number 2. As there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, the count goes even at 1-1. 23 pitches for Bauer in his first inning of work, as the right-hander rocks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. It is tap foul over on the third base side, and the count now is 1-2 to Nakagawa. Nakagawa hitting .242 on the year, 4 homers and 28 RBIs, getting the start in his more familiar position of center field tonight. As the right-hander Bauer delivers, there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Nakagawa's in the books. That's the second strikeout tonight here for Bauer. So 1 gone, and that'll bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. So Wakatsuki coming to bat, he's hitting .227 on the year, 3 homers and 10 RBIs. The right-hander delivers. There's a fastball that misses down. Count goes to 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Batting from the right side here as Bauer rocks himself into the windup and delivers. Breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. Bauer shaking the sign off of the catcher from Matsuo, and he rocks and delivers. There's a fastball that comes inside for a called strike, and now the count goes to 1-2 to Wakatsuki. As we mentioned before, it's like almost a quick pitch, slide step, whatever you want to call, out of the windup. As there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Our friend God is Great is in the house tonight, says, hello from the land of the rising sun. We welcome you to the stream. So Bauer getting the signals from his catcher Matsuo as he's ready to deliver the 2-2 pitch. Rocks into the windup and fires. The fastball misses upstairs. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but they say it didn't go. Oh boy, Wakatsuki, I'll have to get a look at the replay there. It looked like he was fading backwards to try to get out of the way, but he almost didn't have the control of the barrel of his bat. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is as Bauer rocks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into center field, racing back. And making an over-the-shoulder catch is Kuwahara. Busy man here tonight as he has recorded 3 of the 5 outs. So 3 of the outs have come on fly balls to center field, and 2 of them have been strikeouts by Bauer. That is going to bring up the second baseman in Koji Oshiro. Well, for Oshiro, he's hitting .242 entering tonight's ball game. No homers and an RBI. Batting from the right side as the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. We were saying the other night, when Bauer gets on a roll, he can really steamroll through the side. He's just got to get through that first inning. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 0-2. He has served up a home run. Watched a couple of games ago on the first pitch of the ball game, did Bauer. But he was able to settle in. There's a breaking ball that misses down. They appeal over to the first base umpire again, and they say Oshiro didn't go. Count 1-2 to Oshiro. We get a look at the replay, and I'm not so sure about that. The base umpire might want to have a look at that one after the game. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball, misses outside. Count is now 2-2 to Oshiro. 2 gone here in the second inning. Buffalo's had a early 2-0 lead. As the right-hander Bauer gets his side, he rocks into the windup and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, grounded through the 4-hole into right field. That is going to be a base hit here for Oshiro, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Taishi Haruka. So Haruka coming to the plate. As the right-hander Bauer ready to go back to work again. As Bauer kicks and delivers, there's a first pitch breaking ball missing down. Count is 1-0. Haruka tonight is 0 for 1. He flew out to center field to begin the ball game. For one of the Buffaloes, averages dipped to 303 on the year. As the right-hander Bauer ready to go again. Here comes the pitch. That's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side home plate. The count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the right-hander holds set. And here comes the pitch. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. It goes to 1-2. A late call from the home plate umpire, but Haruka nodding in agreement that that breaking ball was a strike. I don't know. I have to tell you, not really locked in yet on the home plate umpire here in what he's calling strikes and balls. Sometimes when you get the angles where you're a little bit offset, it is a bit hard. You do get the replays, and sometimes that will clear the picture up for you. As they throw over to first base and diving back in time is Oshiro. Got to keep your eye on Oshiro here. This is a count to run on. He gets thrown out. You've got the top of the order coming to bat. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down and away. Bauer with a slide step there. Very quick to the plate. 2-2 now to Haruka. Again, the right-hander getting his sign. He shakes off his catcher a couple of times as he works himself to the belt. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Grounded softly over to short. They're going to go to second for the fielder's choice, so that is going to retire Oshiro. He's gone 6-4 for the third out of the inning. And that will do it here for the Buffaloes in their half inning number 2. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left the board. Your scores, we are now through 2 complete. It is the Buffaloes 2 and the BayStars no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few right after this little timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be Matsuo Momori and Ishigami to come to bat here to face the right-hander Anderson Espinoza in inning number 3. Espinoza has sat down the first 6 BayStar batters he has faced in this one. As the right-handed hitting Matsuo comes to the plate, he is hitting .305 with 3 homers and 10 runs batted in. As Espinoza ready to go to work. Espinoza rocking quite a bit on the mound before he goes into the delivery. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Kind of reminds me of Luis Garcia of the Houston Astros, the way that he kind of rocks himself on the mound. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. The count now goes even at 1-1. Only 24 pitches through the first 2 innings for the right-hander Espinoza. Well, his counterpart, Trevor Bauer, is up around the 40 pitch mark in this one here. As Espinoza rocks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to short. Noguchi fields it, throws to first, and that is going to retire Matsuo. That's the first action that the new shortstop of the Buffaloes was able to get here tonight. And with 1 up, there is 1 away, and that'll bring up the third baseman in Masaki Momori. Well, for Momori, he's hitting .218 on the season, no homers and 7 RBIs. He had the walk-off in the game against the Fighters last week when they were playing one another in that game that been featured on our channel, as there's a first pitch breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. The 26-year-old batting from the left side in his first year with the BayStars, as he was a Fukuoka SoftBank Hawk. There's a fastball swung on it, is lined into right field. That's going to be the first hit of the ball game here for the BayStars, and that is going to bring up the shortstop in Taishi Ishigami. Well, for Ishigami, he's hitting .154 on the year. No homers and 6 runs batted in. Curious to see if they're going to let him swing the bat, or if maybe they will consider having him drop a bunt. Although I have to say, Momori can run. He does have 10 stolen bases on the year. I would say that, all things considered, Momori should be able to get up around the 30 mark at some point. Here comes the first offering to the left-handed hitting Ishigami, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses down and away. Makatsuki held the pitch as if it looked like he wanted that call for sure from the home plate umpire. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander again, Espinoza holding to the set. He kicks and delivers. Breaking ball waved out and missed, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As we have, time has been called as Momori is out doing a little bit of gardening over at first base. As it looks like that there is a kind of where the turf and the dirt meet. If you've ever been on a field where they have a turf field and they have the cutouts and the dirt, well, sometimes they have these little overlaps, or they have this where the turf will curl a bit. That's kind of exactly what it looked like there. Momori doing his own gardening. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. And it is a split finger pitch that is swung on and tapped foul behind home plate. The count now goes to 1-2 on Ishigami. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Left-handed hitting shortstop, waggling his bat, waiting here on the 1-2 pitch from Espinoza as Espinoza holds to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. He goes the other way with it. And he lines it past the third baseman into the left field. Racing over is the left fielder, sliding to cut it off. Nice play there by Kita to get over to get it. But it is going to be runners at second and third as Mamori will be stopped at third base. A double by Ishigami, and it's going to bring the top of the order in Kuwahara to the plate. So the BayStars have something brewing here with 1 gone in the third. As we get a look at the replay again, a little bit of a late reaction from the third baseman, Haruka. He was playing off of the line, but wasn't able to make the dive to have to go and get it. So runners are at second and third. It brings the top of the order in Kuwahara to the plate. Kuwahara tonight 0 for 1. He grounded out to third his first time up. Batting here from the right side against the right-handed throwing Anderson Espinoza. Here comes the pitch. He checks the runner. Now delivers. Fastball swung on, grounded foul over on the third base side. Count is quickly 0-1 to Kuwahara. BayStars with an opportunity to get back into this one here, down 2-0. Both the runs scored in the bottom half of the first inning by the Buffaloes. They got the corners in. The middles are in normal depth. So they'll trade for a run for the out up the middle. As the right-hander delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As Espinoza holds to the set, here comes the pitch. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on, grounded over to short. That'll get the run in. And they throw to first. That is going to retire Kuwahara. And to score is Mamori. He is going to bring the BayStars' first run across. Ishigami is going to hold at second. It's a ground out 6-3 by Kuwahara. He picks himself up an RBI, and it'll bring up the right fielder, Ryuki Wataru. So I guess if you're going to get a pitch to roll over, that's the one that you want right there. So high fives all around as Kuwahara gets his 6th RBI of the year. And it brings Wataru to the plate. Wataru is 0 for 1 tonight. Get a line drive back to the pitcher his first time up. As Espinoza checks the runner at second, now delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul the other way into the seats down the third base line, and the count is 0-1. As we were talking about setups and stances, Wataru definitely, when he gets up to the plate, is very recognizable. Every single time he comes to the plate, he's got a baseball card from a couple years ago or last year where they are able to capture that image. There goes the runner to second, or back to second as they throw behind the runner. And diving back into the bases, Ishigami. He's going to reach safely there. They tried to throw behind him. Wakatsuki likes to throw the ball around sometimes. That was a ball that was taken outside, so the count's gone even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the right-hander holds set. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. This ball is belted into right field. This ball is going to get over the head of Sugimoto, and it's off the wall. That's going to get another run in. Wataru rounding first and heading into second. And he is going to reach there safely, and we are all knotted up at 2s. A double and an RBI for Wataru, bringing home Ishigami, and we are locked here at a 2-2 deadlock, and that'll bring up the first baseman in Kaida Sano. So we're all square again. in inning number 3. Interesting. Espinoza retires the first 7 batters he faces, and then 3 of the next 4 hitters here have hit absolute scorchers. It's almost like they know that what pitch is coming and where it's located. So Momori, Ishigami, and Wataru with base hits here in the 3rd inning. As they had a conference on the mound to come out to see Espinoza. That conference is now over and we're ready to resume the action. So the right-hander ready to go again. Batting from the left side here is Sano. Sano 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to left field his first time up as the Espinoza kicks and delivers. Breaking ball catches the outside corner for a called strike. The count is 0-1. I'm not so sure that Sano agrees with the call. Just his facial reaction says it all. So Sano waggling the bat here. He does have juice in the stick, as we mentioned before. He's got 5 home runs on the year. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball that's waved at and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. Absolutely fooled was the left-handed hitting Sano. Again, the right-hander ready to go back to work. As the left-handed hitting, Sano waits on the pitch from Espinoza. Here comes the offering. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses down and away. Count goes to 1-2. WJR 7 in the house says good sign for the BayStars batting, especially for Bauer being the pitcher. Yep. Absolutely. Once Bauer can get through, as we talked about that first inning, he can really settle down and become very tough. As the 1-2 pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and it's grounded foul over on the first base side, and that's going to keep the count at 1-2. Gunner says, where can I watch this? If you're in Japan, you can watch it on J-Sport. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. As Sano waits here on the offering, the BayStars fans who made it to Osaka are cheering their team on as the 1-2 is ready to go. And now Sano has asked for time as he feels that Espinoza has taken way too long. Or you can sit right here and listen to the game as it's called or as we describe it as well. So that's how we operate. But to be honest with you, you got to go and do your digging and where you got to find the games, but we just gave you that information there. There's a split figure pitch swung on and missed. Sano's in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, but there's been damage done and lots of it here by the BayStars. 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors and there was a runner left aboard. Moving to the bottom of the 3rd inning, it is the BayStars and the Buffaloes all tied at 2. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this.
Shall we begin? Let's begin.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Tomoya Noguchi to come to bat to lead it off here for the Buffaloes. He'll be followed by Jordan Diaz and Yataro Sugimoto. Noguchi not in the starting lineup tonight as he came in to replace Kentaro Kobayashi, who left after the top half of the first inning when he was hit by a Trevor Bauer fastball. As Bauer delivers a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. The count's 0-1. Noguchi on the year hitting 163. He's got a homer and 3 RBIs as that fastball just misses off the inside corner, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander against the left-hander as Bauer delivers. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 2-1. We're talking about pitch efficiency. 43 pitches through the first 2 innings for Bauer. Espinoza, on the other hand, only 24, but he let things get away on him a little bit in the 3rd inning. As there is a split finger pitch from Bauer that is waved at and missed, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kind of interesting grip that Bauer has on that split finger pitch. As the 2-2 on the way, there's a fastball taken for a called 3rd strike. And you can put that one in the books for out number 1 here in the 3rd inning. And for us keeping score here, it is the 3rd strikeout recorded by Bauer here tonight. So 1 of the books, that'll bring up the designated hitter in Jordan Diaz. Diaz tonight 0 for 1. He flew up to center field his first time up. As the right-hander rocks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that's waved at and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. There's one of those moves from Bauer, the hesitation where at the top of the delivery he paused before delivering the pitch. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. WJR says a majority of games are live streamed on YouTube, but this is not one. As we said, it is J Sport in Japan. Not sure exactly which one it is, but you can pick it up there. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-2. WJR says his splitter's been effectively nasty, but as I say, it's like he kind of straddles one seam. I've seen it a couple times before. It's a unique way that he grips the ball, a little bit different. Or most splitters, you sometimes see where they'll take it over the 2 narrowest parts of the 2 seam and really widen it out. As the 1-2 on the way is a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to first. They're going to flip it to Bauer covering, and that's going to go down as a ground out 3-1. He's gone for out number 2, and it's going to bring up the right fielder in Yataro Sugimoto. Well, for Sugimoto, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He tripled home a run in the first inning. That RBI was his 23rd of the year. As Bauer ready to go again. As we said, once Bauer gets settled in, he can become particularly nasty. He gets on a roll. The right-hander rocks and delivers. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Sugimoto. In the first inning, he hit that ball the other way to Sugimoto right off of the right field wall. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count's 1-1. WJR says, great pitch for tunneling. Yeah, tunneling is one of those words that has come up here in the last couple of years. I think of, as there's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble, and it's going to be off the wall. Fielding it is Sano. Digging hard for second is Sugimoto. The throw is not going to be in time. It's going to be a 2-out double. Very fortunate there as that ball rode about halfway up the wall. Sugimoto's got his 2nd extra base hit of the ball game here. A triple and a double. It was a tough pitch, too, by the way. That pitch was a fastball inside. He really kept his hands inside the ball really tight, hammering that ball into the pull gap. So he is aboard with 2 out. It's going to bring Yuma Tonga to the plate. I was starting to talk a little bit about tunneling. Probably Rob Friedman, the pitching ninja, would have been one of those ones. I'm not sure you can credit him specifically, but he's definitely in the conversation especially with his overlays of the pitchers, the way the balls go and how they travel. There's a first pitch, breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count's 0-1 to Tongu. Tongu 1 for 1 today. He's got a single and an RBI as he was able to knock home Sugimoto with the second run of the ball game. I was thinking about the NPB and their coverage and what you can cover. I know WJR says sometimes games can be found on YouTube. As the 0-1 is on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul. I don't always look. Sometimes they are. I mean, as soon as the channels go up, they can get zapped down, and certainly you have to kind of do some digging for it. No balls and 2 strikes to Tongu. The Pacific League sometimes does do games on their channel, but I haven't looked in regular to see if that is the regular case. Certainly interleague play hasn't been one over the years. Usually they do like a Saturday game or Sunday Japan time, as there's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats behind home plate, and the count remains 0-2 to Tongu. So no balls, 2 strikes. Tongu is the captain. He wears the C proudly on the chest on the left side. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side, fielded in shallow right field by Shugo Maki. He's going to throw to first, and Tongu's retired on a ground out 4-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here in the third for the Buffaloes. Well, we're a third of the way in the books. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left aboard. Your score as we move down to the top of the 4th inning. We are locked up at 2s. We'll be back in just a few right after this. It is the BayStars and the Buffaloes after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. Anderson Espinoza has completed his tune-up tosses, and it's going to be the heart of the order coming up for the BayStars here in inning number 4. Maki, Satsugo, and Miyazaki. A tough part of the batting order here for the BayStars, and the first pitch is a breaking ball swung on, hammered over to third. Haruka fields it. He throws it on a hop to first. Picking it easily is the first baseman Tongu, and that is going to retire Maki on a ground out. 5-3 for the first out of the inning. 1 gone. So 1 gone. It brings up the left fielder Satsugo. Satsugo grounded to first his first time up. As the right-hander Espinoza ready to go. Here comes the first pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. As he's waiting here on the offering from the right-hander. Pitch on the way. There's a fastball missing up and away. Satsugo grounded to first his first time up. As he is waggling the bat, getting an opportunity here to see a little bit more action regularly. Fastball misses outside, and the count goes to 2-1. We had a podcast the other day. We were talking a little bit about if we think it is the Pacific League or the Central League, as there's a fastball swung on. It is a looping liner that is cut by Oshiro, who's playing in shallow right field. And that is going to retire Satsugo for the second out of the inning. So he's gone for the second out, and that'll leave it up to the DH and Toshiro Miyazaki. And I was getting to the point that we were talking a little bit about who has the advantage, the Pacific League or the Central League. As far as I'm concerned, the Pacific League has the advantage. They play all year with the designated hitter in the lineup. And as far as I'm concerned, that they are the ones that have the advantage, especially on the home games. There's a breaking ball, take it for a called strike. The other teams, they get a DH. The Central League teams get a DH when they come, but they don't really have that one guy who's paid to hit. Fastball swung on and fouled away right off the mask of the catcher, Masuo. Right now, it's not holding up as we are almost at the halfway point. Is a 26-21 win advantage for the Central League. Pacific League is 5 games behind. As the pitch is a breaking ball swung on, it is grounded over to short. Fielded by Noguchi, he fires to first, and Miyazaki's in the books on a ground out 6-3. That's going to do it here for the BayStars and their half of the fourth inning as they go quietly and in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. I'll give you my thoughts when I get back with regards to who has the advantage. But right now, it is 2-2 BayStars and Buffaloes as we move to the bottom half of inning number 4.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Kita, Nakagawa, and Wakatsuki to face Bauer here in inning number 4 as he's completing his tune-up tosses. JR says, searching DNA on YouTube works out well. Finding if it's streamed, and that same channel also posts pitch-by-pitch highlights right after, which is nice, but they delete it quick to avoid channel strikes. Yeah, that's exactly what it boils down to, is that you get yourself into trouble with the strikes. I know there was a channel on YouTube, I'm sure everybody would, or at least some of our listeners would know, it was Yaku Cosmopolitan, and they ended up getting called out on strikes. They are over on Twitter, and they do have their own website. I think they were north of 10,000 subscribers. As there's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Kita. And unfortunately, they ended up getting turfed, and we'll talk a little bit about that too, about the policies of the NPB, as there's a fastball that swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-1 on Kita. Last on is in the house tonight. We appreciate you. He says, in New York, watching the sunrise and listening. Awesome. Glad you could be a part of this. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball missing down, and the count goes to 2-1. As I'm sitting here looking out into the dark, but smelling the smoke of the wildfires that are going on in the area. It's going to be, it looks like a hot summer coming up here. Here's the 2-1, and there's a fastball that misses down, and it goes to 3-1 on Kita. Pacific Northwest is going to get itself a lot of fires, I have a feeling. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Kita. We were talking a little bit earlier there about the channels and what you can post and what you can't. As there's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away. The count goes to 3-2. And I guess the beef that I've got going on right now is that one of the issues that is taking place as the right-hander Bauer ready to go. Here comes the 3-2. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul down the left field line. Count remains at 3-2. The NPB and its players are wanting the NPB to open up its policy on the use of social media. When you think of Major League Baseball, I have to say there's a lot of malign towards Rob Manfred, the commissioner, and MLB in general. But that is one thing that Major League Baseball's got right, is there's a breaking ball that misses way upstairs, and Kita's going to be aboard with a base on balls here in the fourth inning, and that'll bring up the center fielder in Kai Nakagawa. So Major League Baseball's got it right where you can clip stuff, you can add your own commentary, you can do different things, you can post it to social media. And again, that has to go back to Rob Friedman, because Rob Friedman, who was the pitching ninja, well, he was the one who was taking clips and posting it to social media, and I guess he had all kinds of followers, and Major League Baseball sort of relented, originally got himself into some trouble, and finally they were able to let him operate as they throw him to first base and diving back in time as the runner Kita. But the NPB doesn't do it. They've kind of got a bit of a, I don't say an old school thinking, or maybe a bit of a closed thinking, where they don't want you to use the video clips of the players in action or playing or wherever it might be. But the Players Association is, as a breaking ball misses down to Nakagawa's count is 1-0, is kind of pressing the ownership group to be able to do that. It's going to increase the exposure of the game, not just in Japan, but globally. And one would have to think that baseball in particular is a sport that is, I don't want to say on the decline, as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike and the count is 1-1. But it is certainly a sport that is, in North America, been passed by the NFL. And I would say basketball, well, certainly basketball is a global game, but I have to say that basketball, certainly the last couple of years in the NBA, has had its struggles. So 1 strike to Nakagawa, as the right-handed hitting center fielder waits here on the offering from the right-hander Bauer, who holds to the set position. Here comes the pitch. On its way, breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-2. I hate to make predictions on Bauer because he's almost at 70 pitches. The next pitch is going to be number 70 here in the fourth inning. He's not been economical tonight with his pitch count. Will he get a couple of more innings here? I guess he's going to have to be able to get some quick outs here moving forward. As he holds to the set position, here comes the pitch. There's a breaking ball down. There goes the runner. The throw to second is not in time. That's going to be a stolen base there for Kita. Our friend WJR says right now only pitch-by-pitch highlights is in Bauer's videos. Glad he got permission, unlike in 2023. I remember in 2023, he was talking about it, that he had to blur out stuff. It was crazy. Now at least he can show his own highlights and talk about them. So 2 strikes to Nakagawa. Runner at second, Kita. Nobody on here in the fourth inning. He's not been as sharp tonight as he has in his last couple of starts. A little surprising. He did get the extra day off here. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Wataru picks it up and he fires it in. Stopping at third is Kita. Nakagawa's got himself a single. And the Buffaloes have got something brewing here in the fourth inning, as it's going to bring Kenya Wakatsuki to the plate. Now, if I give you my 2 cents here, I would say this is an opportunity that you got to watch Wakatsuki. He is the sacrifice bunt leader last year for the Buffaloes. And this would be a potential opportunity for a squeeze play with runners on the corners. So Akatsuki striding to the plate here. 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to center field his first time up. Bauer was at 59 pitches through the 3 innings. And now he is north of 70 already. So runners at the corners as Wakatsuki's waggling the bat. Got that slightly open stance. Bauer holds to the set. Here comes the pitch. There's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Wakatsuki getting these signs from his third base coach as he steps back in, waggling the bat. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 to Wakatsuki. Buffalo's threatening here in the bottom half of inning number 4. They got runners on the corners. As Bauer gets the sign, and he likes the one that he has now from his catcher as the 0-2 is ready to come. Kicks and delivers. Breaking ball missing down and away, and the count goes to 1-2. WJR mentioned earlier about pitches that are great for tunneling. Well, one of the things I would say here is that some of his pitches tonight have not been necessarily repeatable. If you think about a fastball coming right down the middle and then all of a sudden the breaking ball that would fall off the table that maybe would look like a fastball, or at least be presented as such, hasn't been able to set up his pitches as well as he'd like. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count 1-2 will remain to Wakatsuki. Other scores around the NPB tonight, as is a full slate of games. Fighters have a 3-1 lead over the Swallows. That's in the bottom of the 4th inning. Swallows had jumped out to that early 1-0 lead, but it's been all Fighters since then. Eagles with a 1-0 lead over the Dragons. That's in the bottom of the 4th. Breaking ball down. Wakatsuki goes, says the home plate umpire. And stealing second will be Nakagawa with his 6th of the year. So he's going to steal second. It's going to put runners at second and third. Wakatsuki gone on strikes. He's out for out number 1. And that is going to bring up the second baseman, Koji Oshiro. And by our count, that would be the 4th strikeout here, although they're going to go under the hood here. I wonder what they're going under the hood for. I wonder if they're going to challenge the throw down to second base. And we'll have to wait and see on that. That would be interesting if they are challenging the throw at second. We're going to get a look here. Wakatsuki had missed the throw down to second. Oh boy. If I could see why they're challenging it, it's worth the challenge nonetheless. The throw ended up tailing into the runner. Oh boy, they might have a case on their hands here. They might be able to get Nakagawa at second base. We're going to have to wait till the umpires come back out from under the hood, but if it was old school baseball, they're not going to get the call. The tag was high. It was up around the hip of Nakagawa, but the throw was on the right field side. Here comes the umpires. This is a pretty quick decision. And they've called him safe. So it is a stolen base. That's the first challenge burned here by the BayStars. It was worth the challenge. That would have been the second out of the inning. But they do have runners at scoring position at second and third. It's going to bring Oshiro to the plate. Oshiro is 1 for 1 tonight. Had a single his first trip up. So we're going to look at the defensive alignment here. So Oshiro waggling the bat. As the right-hander holds to the set, here comes the pitch. And there is a breaking ball that's waved out and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. Shiro batting from the right side here, trying to punch another run across here for the Buffaloes. 77 pitches here in the fourth inning for Bauer as the right-hander holds to the set. Here comes the pitch. There's a breaking ball down. It squirts away from the catcher Matsuo, but got 1 ball and 1 strike here. So 1 ball and 1 strike as though Shiro waits here on the offering. Bauer shaking off his catcher. That's another thing tonight that we have noticed is Bauer's really shaking off his young catcher a number of occasions. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses upstairs. It's now 2-1. I remember Mark Burley back in the day. There used to be, when he was pitching for the Chicago White Sox, they said that Burley would rarely ever shake off his catcher, maybe 2-3 times over the course of an entire season. Burley's philosophy was, you put the numbers down, I'm going to make the pitch. Well, Bauer here has been shaking off a lot of pitches, a couple times an inning. There was a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. It's now 2-2 to Oshiro. Our friend WJR7 says, Matsuo is fun to watch. He's popular with the Japanese BayStar fans. Shame he only gets to play with Bauer. Yeah, it's his second season in the league, so there's a lot to, one would have to expect from the young catcher. He's going to be around for a while. Certainly teaming up with Bauer, he's going to get an education in pitching. As the 2-2 pitch is ready to come here. As the right-hander holds to the set, now he delivers. Fastball misses down. It's now full to Oshiro. Certainly this would be the guy that you want to try to get, although if you load the bases, it does bring Haruka to the plate, but you're living dangerously when the top of the order comes up here and they can turn it over. Infield is in for the BayStars here as they are on the proverbial grass. As Matsuo flashes some signs to the right-hander Bauer. Here comes the 3-2. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to second. They're going to come home with it. The throw is going to be in time. Shugo Maki makes the play. He guns down at the plate. Kita, that's going to be a fielder's choice. It's going to go in the books 4-2 on the putout. Gone for out number 2. Nakagawa advances over to third. Safe at first on the fielder's choice is Oshiro. And that is going to bring up the top of the order in Taishi Haruka. So Bauer able to escape any damage there. Nice play there by Maki. Probably had the runner by about 4 or 5 feet. So brings Haruka to the plate, who is officially 0 for 2. He's bounced into a fielder's choice and has flown out to center. As Bauer holds himself into the set position, he's ready to deliver. First pitch, breaking ball, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. If you're just joining us, it's 2-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Buffaloes scored a pair in the first. BayStars responded with 2 of their own in the third. And that is where we're at right now here in the 4th inning. Grinding them out are the Buffaloes as the right-hander Bauer kicks and fires. There's a fastball that just misses outside. Count goes even to 1-1. I don't think Bauer liked that call or non-call. We'll get a look at the replay here. Yeah, I would probably say it missed outside. Good job there by the catcher Matsuo, who was able to try to bring that one back in. Friend Brandon in the house tonight. Welcome, Brandon. As the 1-1 pitch from Bauer on the way. Breaking ball waved at and missed. It's going to run the count to 1-2 on Haruka. Brandon says, how's his boy Bauer doing? Struggling tonight. If he is able to get past the 5th inning, I'd be amazed. 85 pitches here with 2 gone in the 4th. Should be able to squeeze one more out of him and then pass the relay baton to the bullpen. As the 1-2 is on the way, there was a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. It's not been an easy night for the American right-hander, that is for sure. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-handed hitting third baseman of the Buffaloes waits in here on the offering from the right-hander. And here comes the 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, and it's past the diving glove of the shortstop into center field. And in to score is going to come Nakagawa. Washiro's going to stop at second, and Haruka's got himself an RBI single, and the Buffaloes regain the lead at 3-2. So Anderson Espinoza has got another lead to work with. Nakagawa scoring the 3rd run of the ball game for the Buffaloes. I was saying, is Bauer going to get through 5? Next question is he going to get through 4? A good effort there by the shortstop Ishigami to try to stop the ball up the middle, but that ball was, I guess the ball had eyes, I would say, as it saw its way right through the middle of the infield. As the left-handed hitting Noguchi takes a breaking ball up and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Also curious to see who the BayStars would lean on next. Certainly they're going to use their bullpen a little differently when they're behind as opposed to when they're ahead. As the left-handed hitting Noguchi waits. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses down and in. Good stop there by Matsuo. The count goes now to 2-0. Think of the ball game the other night or last night when Andre Jackson was on the hill. He had picked up his 6th win in last night's ball game. Jackson's been outstanding. The former Dodger. It was Issei and Wick who had come on in relief. We saw Wick pitch last week. He was outstanding. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1 on Noguchi. We saw Wick go a couple innings in that extra inning affair last week. He has been brilliant this year out of the bullpen for the BayStars. Other than the first outing, I think that he had, everything else has been fantastic. As the 2-1 on the way, it's a fastball that comes inside, and he has hit Noguchi. That's the 2nd batter Bauer has plugged tonight, and happens to be the other shortstop who had to leave the ball game. And on top of that, it ended up pinballing off his catcher, Matsuo. And so the trainer from the BayStars out to have a look at the catcher of the BayStars. We'll get a look at the replay ourselves. Fastball came in, and it hit just above the knee. Oh, that's why. As it pinballed off the knee of Noguchi right into the midsection of the catcher. All the fellas that are listening to the game here with us tonight, the family jewels were in jeopardy there for Matsuo. So Noguchi is the runner at first. Bases are now loaded. Trainer still with the catcher Matsuo. It looks like now he is kind of hopping up and down, and he's ready to go. The manager came out as well to check on him. So bases full of Buffaloes. It's going to bring Jordan Diaz to the plate. Diaz 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown to center and grounded to first. Now we got the pitching coach on his way to the mound here to talk to Bauer. 91 pitches for the American right-hander. Trying to wiggle his way out of this situation here. Certainly not what we drew up tonight when we expected to watch Bauer pitch. As we said, he had an extra day off. He had the Friday start last week. And then he came back here tonight with an extra day off in terms of rest. So 5 between starts. Kind of make you wonder sometimes if he wants the ball every 5th day, like they had suggested when he's in Major League Baseball, getting the ball every 5th day, get that extra day off sometimes. It throws a bit of a wrench into your preparations. But the bases are loaded here with 2 gone and Diaz stepping to the dish. Diaz 0 for 2 tonight. He's flown to center and he is grounded to first. He's waggling the bat, ready to get the first hit pitch here from Bauer. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside. Count is 1-0. Good hitters count here. Right-handed hitting Diaz, former Oakland A. Waiting from the pitch from Trevor Bauer. Here comes the 1-0. Breaking ball swung on. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Another foul ball right into the midsection of Matsuo. But this time here, it's a little bit lower. Got him on the inside part of the thigh as he bounces around. Not his lucky day. Well, that's the problem there, is the setting up on one knee. Fouls it off, takes it off the inner part of the thigh. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So here comes the 1-1 pitch as Bauer holds to the set. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into right field. Moving back is Wataru. He's there. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it here as the Buffaloes are finally gone in their half of the 4th inning. They send 7 batters to the plate. There was 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. Your score now, as we're moving to the top of the 5th inning, it is the Buffaloes 3 and the BayStars 2. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be coming to bat for the BayStars in the top of the 5th inning, the bottom third of the batting order. That's Matsuo, Momori, and Ishigami. As Brandon Jensen is throwing out one-liners like it is stand-up at the Improv. We appreciate the support that he does provide. Right now, the first pitch coming from Espinoza is a fastball that is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. 52 pitches through 4 innings of work for Espinoza. He has been all around the strike zone in this one. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball swung on and it's tap foul over on the third base side of home plate. The count goes to 0-2 on Matsuo. Where is our comedian Jimmy Carr when we need him? Is for sure. Brandon said he was hoping that Bauer would throw down. Not like that every day. And Brandon Jensen with a super chat. Holy man. Brando, we appreciate you for that, as there's a pitch that misses down. It is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Matsuo. He says, let's go BayStars. As the 1-2 pitch on the way, there's a split finger pitch swung on. It is lifted into right field, racing over, sliding, and making the catch is Sugimoto. And that is going to retire Matsuo for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone, and it'll bring up the third baseman in Masaki Momori. So Momori coming to the plate. He is 1 for 1 today. He's got a single and scored a run. Thank you there, Brando. We appreciate you for your support of the channel. And hopefully we can retire a little bit early in our lifetime here. First pitch, fastball taken for a called strike by Momori, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Espinoza getting the sign from his catcher. As he rocks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded foul down the line on the first base line, and the count now goes to 0-2 to Momori. Momori was instrumental in the extra inning affair last week when he was able to walk it off. The former Fukuoka SoftBank Hawk. Here comes the offering from Espinoza. There's a split finger pitch swung on. It's chopped right back to the pitcher. Espinoza fields it. He runs toward first, and he flips it to Yumatongu. It's going to go as a ground out, 1-3. Momori in the books for the second out of the inning, and is going to leave it all up to the shortstop in Taiki Ishigami. And for Ishigami, well, he is a 1 for 1 tonight. He doubled in his only trip and scored a run. So the left-handed hitting shortstop of the BayStars waiting in here. First pitch on the way. It is a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. Count is 0-1 to Ishigami. As the 0-1 pitch is ready to come here. Here a kick and deliver. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As there's a fastball waved out and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Ishigami, who watched that one go by, he's gone for out number 3, and that is going to do it for the BayStars here in their half of the 5th inning. They go in order, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. Let's see if the BayStars are going to stay with Bauer or if his night will be over. We'll be back in just a couple moments, as your score is 3-2 here for the Buffaloes. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Bauer is coming out for the bottom half of inning number 5. It'll be Sugimoto, Tongu, and Kita to face him here. Our friend Brando says, appreciate the services we provide. I don't know if we call the best game in all of YouTube, but certainly we really enjoy doing it. I've had a chance to get around and listen to some other folks. There are some good people out here, by the way, too, I might add, that do call games. There are some folks that are dedicated to one particular team, as there's a first pitch breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. And I think sometimes that makes a difference when you are dedicated to one particular team. You develop a following. We call the Japanese League, but we call a variety of different ones. And so people will come in and listen. But sometimes we have Hawks fans and BayStars fans and whatever else, as the breaking ball misses down and the count's 1-1. But sometimes it's not just NPB fans. It's people are listening to their specific team. We seem to call a lot of BayStars games recently. That's because of Bowers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded softly up the middle. Fielded neatly by Ishigami, and he throws to first, and Sugimoto retired on a ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. 1 up and 1 away. It'll bring up the first baseman in Yuma Tongu. That's exactly what the doctor had ordered for Bauer, as that is retiring Sugimoto for the first out. Tongu coming to the plate, 1 for 2 tonight, as a single in 2 trips. He's also driven in a run. 97 pitches now for the American, as he is approaching the 100-pitch mark in inning number 5. There's a breaking ball that just misses outside. Count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander Bauer rocks and delivers. There is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. Trevor Bauer, as we mentioned before, he is now approaching pitch number 1 here, and the pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses, and the count goes to 2-1. For those of you who are interested in his max speed tonight, it would have been 98 miles an hour. That's got to be one of the faster fastballs we've seen him throw this year. As the 2-1 on the way, there's a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike. Oh, Tongu didn't like that one, as he buckles his knees and does a 180 and walks out of the batter's box. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tongu. As the 2-2 on the way, there's a fastball that just misses outside. Count goes to 3-2 on Tongu. That was actually a really good pitch by Bauer. I'm surprised that Tongu was able to hold off on that one. I thought it was too close to take, to be honest. So here comes the 3-2 offering as the right-hander rocks and delivers. Pitch on the way, breaking ball misses down and away. It's going to be ball 4. Tongu's going to get himself a 1-out walk, and that'll bring up the left fielder in Ryota Kita. I mean, anything can go in the Japanese League, but I'd have to say that this is probably going to have to be Bauer's last inning. 103 pitches through 4 1/3 so far here. If you just joined us, Buffalo scored 2 in the first. BayStars responded with 2 of their own in the third. Buffalo's got another one in the 4th inning, and that's where we stand at 3-2 right now for the Orix Ball Club. So Bauer ready to go again as he holds himself into the set position. And the first offering is a breaking ball that misses upstairs. One thing I will say about Bauer is that sometimes he just gets too cute. I think he gives hitters too much credit sometimes for what their capabilities are. Not all hitters. Our friend Redbeard is in the house. He says, let's go BayStars. As it looks like that he has got the chimes. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-0. They do have action starting to get going here in the BayStar bullpen. Bauer here trying to wiggle himself out of the 5th inning. 2 balls and no strikes to Kita. Runner at first is Tongu. As the pitch on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Count goes to 2-1 on Kita. Buffaloes 3, BayStars 2, bottom of the 5th inning. We're talking about scores from around the NPB tonight. We're giving some up earlier on. And right now it is all Pacific League except for that game between the Giants and the Hawks. They're locked at zeros. Fastball swung on, popped up over on the right side. Underneath it is the first baseman, Sano. He's going to bring that one in. And Kita is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here. It's going to leave it all up to the center fielder in Kai Nakagawa. Well, for Nakagawa, he is 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also stolen a base and scored a run. As the right-hander Bauer kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side. The count is quickly 0-1 to Nakagawa. Nakagawa scored the go-ahead run in the 4th inning. And leading up to that, he had stolen a base to get himself into position to be able to do it. So here comes the 0-1 offering as Bauer holds set. Kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball that bounces up. Nice stop there by the catcher, Matsuo. He had to go into the left-handed batter's box and pretty much pick it. Actually, I thought that was a breaking ball, but our friend WJR7, who was in here earlier, that was one of those split-finger pitches that we said that he kind of straddles the one seam of the ball. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the right field line, and the count now goes to 1-2. So I'm not exactly sure what that is. I assume it's the split finger pitch because, as I say, it's not quite traditional that you would see where he moves his fingers a little bit wider off of the 2 seams. So here comes the 1-2 as Bauer holds set. And now he delivers. There's a fastball that just misses down. It's now 2-2. I don't think Bauer particularly liked that call, but to be fair, he's not been sharp tonight. He's been up, he's been down, he's been in, he's been out. Now he paints a corner and he doesn't get the call. I think that would be pretty fair. So 2-2 to Nakagawa. Runner at first, Tongu. 2 gone here in the 5th. Works himself to the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and it's lifted foul into the seats on the first base line. Count still remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the center fielder of the Buffaloes. Fred Jimmy, who checked in here, he's got to be close to getting on the road to go home. As the 2-2 on the way, fastball swung on, lifted into shallow center field, coming hard, and making the catch is Kuwahara, and that is going to do it. That's going to be the 3rd out of the inning, and probably going to be the end of the night for Bauer as well. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors. There was 1 runner left aboard. As we like to call it, it is going to be our Japanese halftime. Redbeard says he's excited for the Reds-Tigers series this week, or this weekend. And we are excited. Give you all the action on this one when we return right after this. We're going to put the music on loop, refresh our iced tea, and we'll come back in just a couple of moments with all the action after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the BayStars top of the order to come to bat in inning number 6, as it is a 3-2 ball game here right now for the Buffaloes. Looking over at the out-of-town scoreboard, we have more scoring across the NPB. 3-1, the Fighters are ahead of the Swallows. That's in the bottom of the 6th. Eagles got a 1-0 lead in the top of the 6th over the Dragons. 4-1, Lions have the lead over the Tigers. That's in the bottom of the 5th. The Carp have come back, top of the 6th inning. It is now 4-4 with the Carp and the Marines. And in the bottom of the 7th inning at the PayPay Dome in Fukuoka, Giants and Hawks locked at zeros. Well, it is a 3-2 ball game here. Anderson Espinoza has just completed his tune-up tosses, and we're ready to get the 6th inning back underway. Kuwahara, Wataru, and Sano to come to bat here to face the right-hander, who has been much better than his counterpart tonight. 63 pitches for Espinoza. He has been very good outside of that little glitch in the 3rd inning, where the BayStars had got all 3 of their hits tonight. Well, that brings Kuwahara to the plate. 0 for 2 tonight, grounded out twice, but he did drive in a run in the 3rd inning, as the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down. And the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Batting from the right side here, Kuwahara waits on the offering from the right-hander. And there's a fastball that misses inside and backs him off the plate. And the count now goes to 2-0. I'm curious to see how far Espinoza can take this. If they will take him into the 7th inning or not. 2-0 on the way. There's a fastball that misses down. It's now 3-0. Kuwahara is certainly not the one that you want to put on base to lead it off. He can get the party started, certainly for the BayStars. As the 3-0 on the way, there's a fastball taken. I'm not sure where that was. That's going to be ball 4. Espinoza looked like that was center cut right at the knees. Home plate umpire has some other things in his mind. That's going to be a base on balls awarded to Kuwahara, and that'll bring up the right fielder in Ryuki Wataru. As I said early on in this ball game here, I was a little bit confused by the home plate umpire's strike zone. And that last pitch here to Kuwahara has not changed my mind. Here comes the first pitch from Espinoza. It's a fastball that misses down. 5 balls in a row here to start the 6th inning for the Buffaloes, as the right-hander starting to run himself into a little bit of trouble here. So 1 ball and no strikes as the right-hander works himself to the set. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lined right to the second baseman they had the hit and run on. And Wataru has lined himself into a double play. That is going to be 4-3 on the putout. Kuwahara gone for the 2nd out of the inning. And that is going to leave it up to Kaita Sano. He hit that ball right on the screws. Runner was in motion. Boy, oh boy. I'm not even sure if the runner was even looking. I wanted to get a look at that one again. I almost thought that it was going to hit Kuwahara. It looked like he had taken a look in, but I don't even know if he knew it was coming. That was like head height. So that brings Sano to the plate, and he takes a first pitch breaking ball down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Sano. Sano tonight 0 for 2, has struck out and has flown to left, and he hits a ground ball right back to the pitcher. Espinoza falls to his knees to field. The underhand flips to first. It's going to go down as a ground out, 1-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here. It's going to be in order, or unconventionally in order, go the BayStars. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom half of inning number 6, and your score is 3-2 for the Buffaloes. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this. Appreciate everybody who has listened in here tonight. Our good friend Brandon Jensen as well. We'll be right back in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. Well, what do you know? Trevor Bauer coming back out for inning number 6. A little bit of shock to me as he's at 113 pitches through 5. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is quickly 0-1 to Wakatsuki. He's got to be loving this. This is at its finest. Hey, come out. Let me pitch as much as I can. Joe Mansman in the house here. A little early for Joe, but we're glad you could be here. Brandon says, who is the top or the standout player of the game so far in this one? As that breaking ball misses down and the count goes to 1-1. I would probably say in this one here tonight, if I had to give you my standout at this point, probably Yatara Sugimoto, who's doubled and tripled, scored a run and driven in a run for the Buffaloes. So there's a fastball that is lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side, and the count is now 1-2. So that would be probably my pick for the Buffaloes. I would say maybe Kuwahara, who has walked. He's driven in a run, but he's made some nice plays defensively for the BayStars. He was pretty busy early on. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that spiked up to the plate. Count goes to 2-2. Kuwahara had he's got 4 putouts in the game tonight. I might consider that as a potential. But really, right now at this point, it's kind of up to go. Joe says Kuwahara to you too. Yes. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Take it for a called third strike. Oh, Wakatsuki. He's down on strikes for the second time tonight. He's in the books for out number 1 here in the 6th, and it's going to bring up the second baseman in Koji Oshiro. Well, for Oshiro, he's 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. As the first pitch fastball misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Batting from the right side here as the pitch is delivered. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the first base side of home plate. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike it is. Bauer again delivers quick, and Oshiro bunts down the third base line. They're going to have to hurry to get him. And they're not going to get him as Bauer had come off the mound to field it to pick it up. And he's going to get himself a bunt for a base hit. That's the second time tonight that Oshiro has got himself a hit. Third time tonight he's reached base. Titus back in the house here. So Oshiro aboard with 1 gone. It brings the top of the order in Taishi Haruka to the plate. Haruka 1 for 3 today. He's got a RBI as well. He drove in the 3rd run of the game when he knocked home Kai Nakagawa. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Haruka. It was a seeing eye single underneath the glove of the shortstop Shigami to bring home Nakagawa in the fourth. Right now, that is the separator in this one. 122 pitches for Bauer. As he throws over to first base and diving back in time as the base runner. You know, you think about it, Bauer at 122 pitches, I'd be curious to know how many pitchers in Major League Baseball have gone more than 110 this year. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. The count goes to 0-2 on Haruka. And in saying that, you got to think about Bauer in his last couple of starts. He's been well north of 100 pitches. If you want to pitch and you want to stay on the mound, go to the Japanese League. You can be out there forever. So no balls and 2 strikes. Why can I see Bauer pitching in the Japan series and throwing like 150 pitches one night? Not even batting an eye. So here comes the 0-2 as the right-hander holds set. As the pitch is a breaking ball swung on and lifted, foul. Count remains at 0-2 to Haruka. Joe says, Peterson last night, complete game shutout for the Mets on 104 pitches. Yeah, but that's not at least 110. And I'm curious to know how many pitchers have gone north of 110. You could go almost every single night, and you rarely see anybody over 100. 110, you get into deeper water. I'm not even going to throw at 120 because I don't think that's been seen in a while. Breaking ball misses down. The count goes to 1-2 on Haruka. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'd be curious to know who is at 110 or more. Joe Mansman says in the NPB, they baby these guys. Even the Japanese pitchers that go over to the NPB or to Major League Baseball, probably getting teased by their compatriots back home saying, you guys are only throwing 85 pitches. What's up with that? Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. You think of a guy like Sagano for the Orioles, Tomoyuki Sagano. He's probably thinking, I'm in a retirement home right now, getting 85, 90 pitches, whatever it is, hardly even sniffing 100. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. As the pitch is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed, and Bauer has another strikeout here. So gone for out number 2 is Haruka, and that's going to leave it all up to the shortstop and Tomoya Noguchi. Well, Noguchi, he struck out looking, and he was hit by a pitch in his 2 trips. That's from the left side here. He came on to replace Kentaro Kobayashi, who was hit by a Trevor Bauer fastball back in the first inning. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Boy, that pitch had a lot of movement to it. Noguchi batting 160 on the year. As the right-hander Bauer getting his sign from his catcher. And now he holds himself to the set position. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way, and it's a breaking ball, comes down, and he's hit him again. It's the 3rd hit batter of the night, and it's been the same spot in the batting order. So Noguchi's been hit twice. Kobayashi's been hit once. That's going to get the pitching coach on the phone to the bullpen here. It's going to bring Jordan Diaz to the plate. We'll get a look at the replay of that one. I thought it got maybe the foot, but it actually looked like it got the top of the shin guard on his right leg. So we got runners at first and second here with 2 gone, and it brings Diaz to the plate. Diaz has struggled. This is going to be pitch number 130 of the ball game coming up here for Bauer. It's almost turning into a living experiment. As the first pitch on its way to Diaz. There's a breaking ball that misses up and in. The count is 1-0. I haven't liked the way that Bauer has commanded his pitches in a while. They showed a graphic, 130 pitches, 80 strikes, 50 balls. And here comes the 1-0 pitch to Diaz. Bauer getting the sign from his catcher, and now time has been called as Diaz feels that Bauer has taken way too long. So 1 ball and no strikes to the designated hitter of the BayStars. Or sorry, the Buffaloes, I should say. As the BayStars right-hander delivers a breaking ball, swung on, it is grounded off the glove of the third baseman. They're going to wheel home the runner from second. Here's the throw to the plate. It's not going to be in time. That's more than likely going to be a single and an RBI for Diaz as that ball went off the glove of the third baseman, Mamori. Mamori made great effort diving to his left as he was able to try to get it, couldn't knock it down. Diaz going to get an RBI. Oshiro comes in to score. It's going to increase the scoreline to 4-2. And now finally the manager of the BayStars is bringing out the hook, and he's going to be coming out to get Trevor Bauer here. Great effort there by Mamori, but unable to keep it in the infield. That's going to be the end of the night for the right-hander. We got ourselves a pitching change, and we are going to be back in just a couple moments after this. From our friend Matt Hollis, be sure to check out Matt after the game. Be sure to let him know that Last Raps Baseball sent you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change coming up here for the BayStars, as it is going to be runners at the corners. We're just getting the confirmation of who is coming in to make that change. They are bringing in a left-hander. This is going to be number 20 for Yokohama. It is going to be the 27-year-old, and that is going to be Yuya Sakamoto. So Yuya Sakamoto coming on in relief, bringing his 3.14 ERA into the game. So Sakamoto on in relief of Trevor Bauer, who went over 130 pitches in this one here tonight, but unable to get through the 6th inning. 5 2/3 innings are in the book. So Sugimoto coming to the plate. He is 2 for 3, a triple, a double, an RBI, a run scored. He's also grounded out to short, as he will step in here to face the left-hander. Interesting, they bring a lefty in to face the righty, and not leaving Bauer in for yet another one. What would have been the difference? Sugimoto's raised his season average to 304, as the lefty delivers a fastball for a called strike. So Sakamoto heading the count here at 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike it is. Joe Mansman says the most pitches in the game this year is 117 by Framber Valdez, and then Eric Fetty at 110. Interesting. So there you go. As the pitch is a breaking ball, waved at and missed by Sugimoto. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Interesting. 117 by Valdez and 110 by Fetty. I think Max Fried went over 100 for the Yankees in one of his starts. I know Skubal for the Tigers went north of 100. As the 0-2 pitch ready to come. Sakamoto delivers. Breaking ball down. Good pitch. Not a strike. 1-2. Nice stop there by the catcher, Masua. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Sugimoto. (4-2), the Buffaloes have the lead here in the bottom half of inning number 6. Very intriguing, these two ball clubs here, as the lefty Sakamoto holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball, waved at and missed. And in the books is Sugimoto. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, but the Buffaloes add to their lead. An RBI single off the bat of Jordan Diaz. 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. No errors and 2 runners left aboard. We are now moving to the 7th inning. Your score is the Orix Buffaloes 4 and the Yokohama DeNA BayStars 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in a little bit after this. We appreciate you for all listening in with us here tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Shugo Maki, Yoshi Satsugo, and Toshiro Miyazaki to come to bat here for the BayStars in the top of the 7th. The back third of the ball game is upon us, as it is going to be the right-hander Anderson Espinoza to begin his 7th inning of work. He has been very good tonight. Only blemishes came in the 3rd inning when he gave up pair of runs, as there's a slow breaking ball delivered to Mackey, taken for a called strike, and the count's 0-1. Mackey batting .283 now on the year with those 11 homers and 37 RBIs. As he delivers again, and it's a breaking ball missing down and away, and the count's 1-1. All 3 of the BayStar hits came in the top of the 3rd inning. 3-7-0 for the Buffaloes, 2-3-0 for the BayStars. Fastball swung on and yanked foul down the left field line, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. We are a little undecided on what we're going to bring to you next, as we're going to be out of town for a couple days. So there's a fastball that misses inside, but the home plate umpire goes up with the right hand because he thinks Mackey went around, and he is in the books for the 1st out of the inning. So 1 gone here is going to bring up the left fielder in Yoshi Satsugo. And by our count here tonight, that is the 4th strikeout recorded by Espinoza, as it brings the switch-hitting Satsugo to the plate. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. Satsugo's lined to second, and he has grounded to first in his 2 trips. There's a breaking ball that is swung on. It is looped softly over the head of the leaping third baseman, Haruka. Stopping at first is going to be Satsugo. He's got himself a base hit. So a 1-out single, and that'll bring up the designated hitter in Toshiro Miyazaki to the plate. We're talking about the most pitches thrown in a ball game. Earlier, Joe Mansman said it was 117 by Framber Valdez and 110 by Eric Fetty. You don't see a whole lot of that anymore. You don't see a lot of complete games. You don't, definitely a complete game shutout. You start thinking about that over the course of a season. How many players are actually able to do a complete game shutout in Major League Baseball? Now, there's combined ones, but there's a first pitch breaking ball taken for a called strike. As the right-hander Espinoza ready to go again. And if we take a look at those type of statistics, as we said in Major League Baseball, you're going to see that that's very, very rare. As that pitch is, this is outside the counts 1-1 to Miyazaki. And you look at all of Major League Baseball, there are only 7 pitchers to go complete game shutouts this year. Nobody has done it twice. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-2 on Miyazaki. Just think about it. Major League Baseball, you had Andrew Abbott, Nathan Eovaldi, Eric Fetty, Michael King, Stephen Kolek, David Peterson, and Tariq Skubal. And interestingly enough, 2 of the shutouts were delivered by Padre pitchers, King and Kolek. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander holds to the set. Now delivers. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes even to 2-2 on Miyazaki. Also interested to see not only the number of shutouts and the number of pitches, but to see the length, as we were talking about earlier, of how many are going to let their players go. There's a breaking ball that is wildly swung at and missed, and Miyazaki is in the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone. That'll bring up the catcher in Cheyenne Matsuo. Matsuo 0 for 2 in this one, as he has grounded to short and he has flown to right. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. So Matsuo striding in here. Waiting on the offering here from the right-hander Espinoza. 1-0 on the way. Pitch coming. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Espinoza ready to go again as he works himself into the set position. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Grounded over to short. They're going to go to second for the fielder's choice. That's going to erase Satsugo. Goes in the books on a 6-4 putout for out number 3, and that will do it here for the BayStars in their half of the 7th inning. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score is the Orix Buffaloes 4 and the Yokohama DeNA BayStars 2. Hang out with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit right after this rendition of Take Me Out to the Ballgame. Welcome back, everybody. Sakamoto on for his next inning of work. He delivers a first pitch breaking ball that swung on and missed by Yuma Tongu, and the count is 0-1. Tongu, Kita, and Nakagawa to come to bat to face the left-hander here in the bottom half of inning number 7. As the pitch on the way is a fastball hammered foul into the netting down the right field line, and the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Tongu tonight, 1 for 2 officially. He's driven in a run, and he's also drawn a walk. He knocked home the second run of the ball game for the Buffaloes back in inning number 1. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that just misses inside, and the count goes to 1-2. I have to say that pitch there looked pretty darn good. A little hard done by Sakamoto there not to get the call. So here comes the 1-2 offering as the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. When this game is over, we'll give you the full rundown across the NPB as we said all of the games that are going on, as they are getting into the deep water in some of the other affairs as well. Everybody is in the 7th inning with the exception of the game between the Giants and the Hawks. They are tied at 0s in the 9th as there's a fastball swung on, popped up on the first base side. It's playable. Underneath it is Sano, and he's going to make the catch in foul territory, and that's going to retire Tongu for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone, and that'll bring up the left fielder in Ryoto Kita. Well, Kita comes to bat. He is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out, he has popped the first, and he has walked. As he bats here from the left side against the lefty Sakamoto, who delivers a fastball that is taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to the left fielder of the Buffaloes. As the lefty again works himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, and it's going to be lined into right field for a base hit. And Kita is going to be aboard. He's got himself a 1-out single. That is his first hit of the night. He had a walk earlier on. So he is aboard, and that'll bring up the center fielder in Kai Nakagawa. Well, Nakagawa coming to bat. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single. He has struck out, flown to center, and he has also stolen a base. On top of it, he had scored the go-ahead run for the Buffaloes back in the 4th inning. So waggling the bat here from the right side. As the lefty Sakamoto delivers, there's a first pitch fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch on the way is a fastball that misses up and in, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. As the lefty holds to the set position, here comes the 2-0. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. All of a sudden, the strike zone from the home plate umpire has gone from inconsistent to tiny. It's been a bit of an odd strike zone here tonight, but that can be said for both teams. There's a center cut fastball. He wasn't going to call that one. I don't know what he was going to call. 3 balls and 1 strike. But Anderson Espinoza could attest to that in the last half inning. It's just not to the BayStar pitchers. He has felt the wrath of the home plate umpire as well. So here comes the 3-1 offering to Nakagawa as the lefty Sakamoto holds set. Now he delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It's grounded down the third baseline foul. Past the glove of Memorial. It's going to run the count to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. The runner Kita was on the move on that last pitch as he was in motion. So 3-2 here. Here comes the 3-2 pitch as the lefty ready to go. Kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, grounded to third. Only play is going to be to first as Mamori fires across the diamond. The runner, Kita, was in motion again. So they stay out of the double play to the Buffaloes. It's a ground out 5-3. That's the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it all up to the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. So for Wakatsuki, he strides to the plate. 0 for 3 tonight, has struck out twice and flown to center. So Wakatsuki waggling the bat here, waiting on the offering from the left-hander Sakamoto. The first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. No balls and a strike. As the 0-1 pitch is ready to come, here's the offering. Fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the lefty Sakamoto holds set. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball. It's taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is as the lefty holds to the set position. And he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And he's tagged by the catcher, and that is going to do it. Wakatsuki is going to be gone for the third out of the inning. That'll do it for the Buffaloes here in inning number 7. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are through 7 complete. BayStars coming to bat. Looks like the Buffaloes might be making a change here. We'll see if Espinoza's night is done, or if he is coming back for yet another inning. We'll be back in just a few after this. Welcome back, everybody. Coming to bat for the BayStars will be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. When we return, it'll be Mamori, Ishigami, and Kuwahara, but it looks like we are going to have a pitching change. Top of the 8th inning is just around the corner after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. You want to learn about Japanese baseball? See Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and it is a pitching change coming up here for the Buffaloes. So Anderson Espinoza, 7 strong innings here tonight, as he only allowed tonight in this one 4 BayStar hits. It is going to be the right-hander coming on in relief. It is going to be Luis Perdomo. Will take over here as he will be ready to get things going here. It's going to be Mamori to face him here to begin things. And the first pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. So Perdomo on in relief, as Mamori is in the hole at 0-1. And the pitch on the way, there's a breaking ball that misses outside. And the count now goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. We're still keeping our eyes on that out-of-town scoreboard as there's been a lot of shifting in scores as there's a fastball that swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-2. Nothing is final yet. Bottom of the 9th inning, it's 0-0 between the Hawks and the Giants. 5-4. The Marines have now taken the lead the game is in the top of the 8th inning against the Carp. Fastball misses inside. It's 2-2 now to Mamori. Lions enjoying a 4-1 lead over the Tigers. That's in the top of the 8th. 3-0 now for the Eagles over the Dragons. That's in the bottom of the 7th. As the 2-2 on the way, it is a fastball golfed foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 2-2 to Mamori. 6-1 for the Fighters over top of the Swallows. Top of the 8th inning. There's a ground ball hit on one hop right to the second baseman. Fielded neatly by Oshiro. He throws to first. That's going to retire Mamori. Ground out 4-3. One gone here, and it'll bring up the shortstop in Taiki Ishigami. So Ishigami coming to the plate. He is 1 for 2. He's got a double, and he is struck out looking. Or do we have a pinch hitter here? It looks like we got a pinch hitter in here. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on it. It's going to be looped softly on one pitch. It is going to retire. It looks like it was Yasutaka Tobashira. And so Tobashira is gone on one pitch on a pop-out to the third baseman for out number 2. That was a pretty quick and a pretty anemic swing by Tobashira. Well, that brings up to the plate the top of the order in Masayuki Kuwahara. And he swings and fouls away the first pitch he sees, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Redbeard says he's back. He just got home. As there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. We're hanging in here, Redbeard. 2 hours and 37 minutes, surprisingly, as the pitch is on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep center field, but with plenty of room is Nakagawa. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to retire Kuwahara. We are going to be going to the 9th inning here, and the bottom of the 8th inning here in just a moment. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Buffaloes are enjoying a 4-2 lead over the BayStars. Bottom of the 8th, just around the corner. We'll be right back in just a few. Redbeard says, I am here until the end, making the baby breakfast. Well, that's awesome. We'll be right back in just a couple moments after this with all the calls in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pitching change as Daida Miyagi is coming in here for the BayStars. He has got sporting a 0.93 ERA over 17 ball games. So Daida Miyagi on in relief here of Yuya Sakamoto. So the right-hander has completed his tune-up tosses, and we're ready to resume the action. He's going to be getting the 9, 1, and 2 hitters. Now in the ball game, it's going to be Kaito Mori as he will take over the shortstop position, vacated by Taiki Ishigami. So Mori on here. So stepping up to bat here is Oshiro. Oshiro is got 2 hits in his 3 trips to the plate tonight. He's pulled his season average up to 278. As the right-handed hitting second baseman of the Buffaloes swings at the first pitch and lifts it down the right field line. It's going to slice foul into the seats, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike it is. As the right-hander holds to the set, here comes the pitch. Breaking ball down, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Another breaking ball delivered. This one's taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-2 on Oshiro. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Keeping our eyes peeled on those other games. Looks like it's now gone to the 10th inning between the Hawks and the Giants. They are where they started at 0-0. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Oshiro's in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the top of the order in Taishi Haruka. Well, for Haruka, 1 for 4 tonight. Got a single in 4 trips. He's driven in a run. As the right-hander ready to go again. As the pitch on the way, there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 0-1. As the 0-1 pitch on the way, there's a breaking ball waved at and missed. Count goes to 0-2 on Haruka. The BayStars will have one more crack at the Buffaloes in the top of the 9th as they find themselves down a pair of runs here. So here comes the 0-2 offering as the right-hander ready to go again. It's been kind of a tame crowd in Osaka tonight. As we mentioned, lots of empty seats. In fact, there's almost sections of them in certain parts of the ballpark. There is a changeup that is swung on and missed. Haruka's in the books. That's back-to-back strikeouts recorded here by the right-hander Miyagi. So 2 in the books. It's going to leave it all up to the shortstop in Tomoya Noguchi. Well, for Noguchi, it's been a tough night. It's been a tougher night in this spot of the batting order. Kentaro Kobayashi started the ball game. He was hit by a pitch and had to leave after the first inning. And then Noguchi came in. He struck out looking his first time up, and he's been hit 2 subsequent times. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend Redbeard says, wax on. Oh, boy. So here comes the 1-0 pitch as Miyagi delivers. There's a breaking ball that catches the inside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. Oh, yeah, they brought their bullseye tonight with them. They were getting smoked in the 2 spot. As the 1-1 pitch ready to come here. Maybe they didn't get the scouting report after the first player left the game to stop hitting him. As there's a breaking ball waved at and missed. The count goes now to 1-2 on Noguchi. I thought it was a breaking ball. It actually was a split finger pitch that looked like a 12-6 breaking ball. Nice pitch there by Miyagi. It just fell right off the table. Here comes the 1-2. Fastball misses outside. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball swung on and missed. Miyagi comes in, strikes out the side. Pretty impressive work by the young right-hander. As the Buffaloes go in order, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving to the top of the 9th inning. The score is the Buffaloes 4 and the BayStars 2. Stay with us, everybody. The top of the 9th, right around the corner. We'll be right back after this. It is going to be Wataru, Sano, and Maki when we return. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be Andres Machado coming in as he is making his 24th appearance of the year. He has got himself a 2.45 ERA as he will take over here to face Ryuki Wataru, Kaita Sano, and Shugo Maki, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the BayStars batting order. So the right-hander ready to go to work here, as he is going to be facing the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, as we mentioned. The first pitch fastball swung on. It has popped up into shallow center field. Moving back on it is the shortstop Noguchi. He's there to make the catch. So with one pitch, we got ourselves one away here. And that is going to bring up the first baseman in Kaita Sano. We do have some defensive changes for the Buffaloes, as the Kai Nakagawa has moved over into right field. Yeah, I always have to try to get caught up on some of the other changes. It looks like it is, I'm not exactly sure who it is in center field. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Looks like it could be Ikeda. So no balls and 1 strike to Sano. Sano here 0 for 3. Flown to left, struck out, and grounded to the pitcher in his 3 trips. As the pitch from Machado on the way, a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and now it's 0-2 here to Sano. So no balls and 2 strikes. When this game is done, we'll give you the full recap from around the NPB, as well as the final lines in this one, as there's a fastball that misses up and away. Count goes to 1-2 on Sano. So Machado ready to go again as he slowly chews the gum that he is sporting. I assume it's gum. As the 1-2 pitch on the way, there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the the right-hander delivers again. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded up the middle. That ball is going to be a base hit into center field. That will be a base hit here for Sano. So he is aboard. That's going to bring the tying run to the plate in Shugo Maki. So maybe this game isn't done yet. Very, very interesting here. And that looks like there's going to be a pinch runner here for Sano, as his day will be over with. It's going to be number 58. That is Koki Kajiwara. So Kajiwara, one of the outfielders, end a run. He does have some speed. So Mackey stepping up at the plate here. Power versus power. The first pitch on the way is a fastball that misses upstairs for ball one. Count is 1-0. BayStars down by 2. Tying run now at the plate. Mackey waggling the bat here, waiting on the offering. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It is lined over to the shortstop, Noguchi. He ends up dropping the ball. It gets through his legs, but they're going to throw to second to retire Sano. Sano had the freeze on the line drive, or at least, sorry, that was the runner Kuwahara. Or the pinch runner Kajiwara, I should say. And so that is going to retire him at second base. It's going to go fielder's choice, 6-4. Gone for the second out. Mackey safe at first. It's going to bring up the left fielder, Yoshi Satsugo. So what I was saying is they had the hold on the line drive. You had the freeze. And they still had plenty of time to be able to get the out at second base. So here comes the first pitch. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 9th inning. 2 gone here. Runner at first is Mackey. The BayStars down to their final out as the 1-1 pitch is on its way. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 2-1. Satsugo, a hit and 3 trips here tonight. Buffalo's looking to try to seal the deal here. Mackey establishing his lead over at first. As Machado gets himself into the set position. Here comes the 2-1. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. 2-2 now. It comes to Satsugo. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander again holds to the set. Now they're down to their final strike. Pitch on the way. Fastball just misses outside. It's now 3-2 to Satsugo. It's going to mean the runner is going to be on the move here. BayStars here with a base hit. Could send Mackey all the way around to third. Extra base hit could score him from first. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as they're waiting here. Right-hander holds to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, and Satsugo's in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it. The Buffaloes are going to hang on and win here tonight against the Yokohama DeNA BayStars. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left aboard in the 9th. Your final score is the Buffaloes 4, the BayStars 2. Stay with us, everybody. We'll come back in just a couple moments to wrap this one up. Give you all the results and all the roundup from around the NPB tonight. right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to give you the rundown of this one. We'll look at the final or the scores from around the NPB, and then we're going to put this one to rest. Buffalo's got things going in the first inning with 2 runs. With 1 out, it was Kotaro Kobayashi was hit by a pitch. After Jordan Diaz flew out, Yutaro Sugimoto tripled home Kobayashi. And then Yumatagu singled home Sugimoto to give the Buffaloes an early 2-0 lead. BayStars got that back in the third inning with 1 out. It was a single by Masaki Momori, a double off the bat of Taiki Ishigami. Upstepped Masayuki Kuwahara, and he grounded out. That brought home the first run of the inning in Momori. And then Wataru doubled home the shortstop Ishigami with the second run of the inning, and that's even the score at 2. Well, then it was the Buffaloes the rest of the way in this one. They ended up adding a third run in the 4th inning. After a leadoff walk to Kita, upstepped Kai Nakagawa with a single. After Wakatsuki struck out, Koji Oshiro bounced into a fielder's choice. And then Taishi Haruka singled home Kai Nakagawa with the third run of the ballgame. The Buffaloes then added to their lead in inning number 6. With 1 out, there was a single by Oshiro. After Haruka struck out, then it was Noguchi getting hit by a pitch, and Jordan Diaz singled home Oshiro with the 4th run of the game, and that was your final 4-2. Espinoza gets the win. He goes to 2-3 on the year. The loss goes to Trevor Bauer. He is now even at 4-4. The save goes to Andres Machado. Scores from around the NPB. We'll give you a look at this, and then we're going to wrap it up here for the night. Top of the 9th inning, the Fighters have a 6-1 lead over the Swallows. Also in the top of the 9th, Eagles are leading the Dragons 4-0. 4-1 for the Lions over the Tigers. That's in the top of the 9th. Also in the top of the 9th, it is 5-4 for the Marines over the Carp. And in the top of the 11th inning, it's 0-0 between the Hawks and the Giants. Those are your finals for tonight, and that is everything that we can give you here in this one. Again, your final score is 4-2 for the Buffaloes. We appreciate everybody who had popped in tonight to listen, whether you listen live or on delay. It's been another Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel performance, and we will catch you guys again later in the week. Look for more of our schedule a little bit later. Have a great night, everybody.